A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I start in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. I'm Zen.
I'm Hamza.
And this is
the H&Z Show.
How are you, Hamza, today?
Not too bad, Zen. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good. It's been a quick week, don't you think?
It's been a very quick week, and you know what? It just remembers like you were here last week, Sunday, and now all together we're here this same Sunday, and it looks like very, very quick.
That's it. The weather's been good today as well.
It's been very good today. It's very warm in Manchester.
Just like to remind everyone, last week's winner.
Yes, last week's winner. Nobody called back to give the address, and we still have the prize.
So, Sister Maryam from London, we need you to ring in and give us your address. You are the winner of last week. What was the prize last week?
Last week's prize was a speaker system.
Speaker system,
yes. I almost forgot, but no, it was a speaker system.
Speaker system. So, Maryam, if you don't want that speaker system, let us know. Happily, we'll take it home. We'll make good use of it. But as every week, you all know that we have a quiz question in which allows everyone to win a prize. So we'll reveal this week's prize?
I think we should.
Let's see, all the viewers out there, keep your eyes on the screen. We're going to show you this week's prize. What is it? It is?
Headphones.
Headphones. Where can these be used? Come on, bro. We always give a description of the prize.
I'll tell you a little bit what we can use these for. Headphones.
No, let's do it again. Brothers in the back. We've got to do it again, man. Hamza messed up totally.
How did I didn't mess up. Okay.
Right. This week's prize
is headphones. There we go. We have headphones this week for you. These headphones can be used for your MP3 player. They can be used for computer, laptops, anything like that. You can plug them in, listen to them while you're at home, while you're in the gym, while you're driving, while you're doing anything.
That's it. We don't fob people off with rubbish prizes. These headphones I use myself personally in the gym as well. So obviously there you go, we're giving you very good prizes there. So if you want a chance of winning that, make sure you stay tuned in, and inshallah we'll be revealing the quiz question very shortly. Right, brother, I think jokes aside now, I think this week's topic is a very serious one indeed. It's one that obviously we all need to think about and contemplate, because it's going to happen to all of us. This week's topic is death.
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, what do you think about death, brother?
Then this week's topic is quite serious, and obviously we want to discuss everything that we know or we can share with viewers out there. And it's like we said, it's a serious topic, but we'll start off by telling you this week's hadith, I think.
Yeah, inshallah we will very soon. But before we do that, we've got a short video clip to show you. Just a reminder, viewers out there, this week it is a very disturbing video. So if you don't want to watch it, make sure you turn away now, and inshallah join us in a minute or so. Highlight all of them from start to end.
Can you print a sticker from this?
Bottom of the page. What's the bottom? 365. 4, 3, 6, 5. The next column. Right, lads, I'm getting off now. What are we doing tomorrow then?
We play football tomorrow.
Tomorrow, what time is it?
About 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Yeah.
So I'll see you there, inshallah.
No problem. See you there.
Alright, check it out.
Right, see you later, man.
See ya.
Don't be late tomorrow, Zen.
Hamza, Zain's left his phone here.
You're right. I'll give it to him just now. Zain! You forgot your phone! Zain! Imran, call the ambulance.
And this week's hadith is by the Prophet ﷺ, in which he mentions the gift to a believer is death. Just to repeat that, make sure you're writing this down, it's very important. The gift to a believer is death. There you go, brother Hamza. It was a very gruesome video, but just like a reminder, look, I'm wearing the same top tray just to make sure to let you know that I'm still alive, so don't worry please. But yeah, the message there, brother.
I think I agree. First of all, we want to tell the viewers that this video was, when it was shot, it was quite serious topic, and we were obviously quite distressed. Well, not distressed, but we were quite thinking about this topic, how we're going to start this topic off, and how we're going to discuss this topic. But I think with this hadith, it summarizes in everything that we believe in. it's the greatest gift to a believer. I think for me personally, what it signifies or what it means is that it's a beginning. That death is actually a beginning for a believer more than anything, because this is where your real journey starts. Everything in this world is temporary. Everything here that we have it has a time limit. It's bounded by time, space, everything. Whereas when death arrives, it's a beginning to a whole new chapter where it's a bridge to another world, and your journey starts then, where you leave all these things behind, and everything that you've done in this world, then all the good deeds are carried over to the next one, and all the bad deeds are obviously as well carried over. But we'll discuss this more in detail.
Definitely. I mean, the hadith itself, it says the gift to a believer is death. Now, you must be thinking, when you give gifts on birthdays or special occasions, so why is death actually a gift? So you got to think that, look, what kind of gift is this? It's a gift in a sense that, look, if you have done good deeds throughout your life, you are going to see the Aima alayhim salam, you're going to see the Ma'soomeen, you'll be able to see the ziyarat of their face, you're going to see the Holy Prophet, you'll see the 12 Imams, you'll see all these holy personalities with you, helping you on that day, and you'll be entering heaven. Is that not the path we want to choose? And perfect. I mean, this hadith also reminds you of Hazrat Qasim, the son of Imam Hassan alayhi salam in Karbala, when the Imam Hussain asked him, how do you portray death? He goes, I portray death sweeter than honey. So look at this. So this shows that, look, for him, death is sweeter than honey, whereas we don't even think about death for 1 minute, but we go sleep thinking that we're going to get up the day after.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Death in this world, I think, is looked at as a negative entity, because it's not something you want to think about. It's not something you want to prepare yourself for. A lot of people are so busy in their daily life and their daily routine that they don't think about death, even though you don't know when death is going to knock at your door, and you don't know what's going to happen next.
I mean, that's what we try to show in the video as well, that look, it happened suddenly. Like, he was at work normal, going to play football the next day, all of a sudden out of the blue, gone. Now, death can come in so many various ways: illness, accidents, old age, other kind of, I don't know, different scenarios where you can die.
Yeah, different things can happen at different times, but obviously we don't know when it's going to happen. Only God himself knows when the time of death is, and he said that beautifully in Quran as well, which we'll reveal and which we'll talk about later, about different verses from the Quran which have mentioned death.
Definitely. I think we need to get all the viewers to stay tuned in, and inshallah, should we reveal the quiz question this week?
I think we should.
Definitely. Let's see what this week's quiz question is. Keep watching now, and you have a chance to win that beautiful prize. The quiz question, Brother Hamza.
This week's quiz question is, which surah was the first to be revealed in the Holy Quran? So I'll repeat again for you. Which surah was the first to be revealed in the Holy Quran?
I think that's a decent question. What do you think?
I think I have a clue towards the answer, but I don't want to reveal it to the viewers just yet. I think I'll keep that in.
Definitely. So there you go. That's this week's question. Is at the bottom of the screen, and the phone lines are now open. So pick up your phones, dial the number on the bottom of your screen if you want a chance of winning them headphones, and hopefully them headphones will come in good use, inshallah.
You can use that for anything, when you're at gym.
There you go. There's a prize. Headphones.
Today's prize is headphones. You can use that for gym, when you're in your car, when you're
you go
at
for
home.
a walk, innit? Going for a walk.
When you're going for exercise, walks, anything, you can use them for all these things.
I think they come handy on the aeroplane as well. Do you only go on these long air flights, and you sat there thinking, and the headphones half the times don't work.
They're very low quality.
Take this pair in, and inshallah you'll have a really good sound system going on.
Okay.
Definitely. Right, so we're waiting for your calls. Right, we're talking about death, brother. I mean, I'm going to talk about, I don't know about yourself, but I've done some research on the different aspects of death, about the angel of death coming, and the comfort and discomfort at the time of death, and certain aspects of how the actual angel of death will look, and the questioning in the grave. What about yourself?
I think what I'll focus on mainly is looking at things that we can do beforehand, how we can prepare ourselves, how we can do different things, different deeds, different activities to prepare for this new journey, this new chapter. And I want to start off by just saying that things that we can do on a right now on a daily basis, or things we can do in our everyday life to prepare for that. I think the most important thing that we can do first is remember God. Fantastic. Because that's such a simple thing, and it's something that you do all the time. If you remember God, you know that you're going to see your God one day, and you're going to see your Creator, your Maker, and in order to see your Maker, you need to cross this bridge.
The best thing is, look, what differentiates us from other species such as animals is the intellect, is the ability to repent to Allah. So when we commit mistakes, we've been given that brain up there, which half of us, well, me included, we don't use. We need to use that and think, look, if we commit sins, we need to repent to Allah and with a humble, sincere heart that we will not commit these mistakes again. And obviously, that is one thing that's very important at the time of death.
Absolutely.
I think we're having phone calls flooding in already, brother. Do you want to start today's?
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Walaikum salam. Anis Heather Nakwi from USA, America.
Brother Anis, you cannot put the phone down today. You have to give us your address. We still not sent your prize out. We need your address today, okay?
Okay. Now, this question is, this is the answer of today's question. It's Surah Alaq, ayat number 1.
Are you sure?
Yes, sure. Surah Alaq, ayat number 1.
Thank you very much,
Thank
brother
you very
Anis.
much,
Make sure you please give us your address. Stay on the phone if you can, and please give us your address, okay, brother?
Okay.
Take care, Khudafis. I think brother likes giving the answer so everyone else can win the prizes, but he doesn't want them himself.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because he likes to share things with everybody.
Fantastic. We have another caller. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
My name's Mohammed. I'm calling from London.
Mohammed from London. Is this the first time you're calling? Have you called before?
First time calling.
Thought so. I've not heard.
Mohammed, how old are you?
11.
MashaAllah. Last week we had 2 phone callers who were 11 as well. MashaAllah. Look at you, all 11 out there. How are you today? You okay?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. That's very good. And are you going to answer the quiz question, yeah?
Yes.
What's
the answer is Surah Al-Alaq.
Surah Al-Alaq. Look at that. A couple of people rang in. Thank you for your call, by the way, brother Muhammad. Inshallah, stay tuned in. The answer will be revealed at the end of the program.
Thank you, Muhammad. Wow.
Couple of answers
already, and they're still same so far.
Same so far. Is that a giveaway?
I think that's a good sign. At least something is.
Another caller.
It's consistent. Assalamu alaikum. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Maryam from London.
Maryam from London. How are you? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Maryam, you're our last week's winner. You need to give us your address so we can post you the prize that you won last week.
Yeah, I did give my address.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask production team to take it down.
We'll make sure we get the address there and send it out the prize tomorrow. Is that okay?
Okay, and I would like to answer the question.
Yes, Maryam, answer the quiz question for this week.
It's Al-Alaq.
Surah Al-Alaq. Thank you very much, sister. Make sure you stay online as well, and inshallah give your address, okay?
Thank you, Maryam.
Okay.
Take care. Khudafis. Inshallah, I hope she gets her prize, brother, because inshallah we want everyone to have a fair chance of winning.
I think so, yes.
We've had a couple of people who've not received their prizes yet.
That's not good.
So inshallah, we need to make sure these people are getting their prizes. But yeah, moving on to this week's topic on death is a very serious one.
Exactly. Okay, so as you were saying that different things that we can do to prepare, I think Imam Ali has said in a very beautiful hadith, and it's a very short and very small hadith which I want to share with the viewers. He says that to prepare for death, you need to fulfill your obligations and refrain from forbidden. That's it. It's such a small thing that Imam Ali has said, that to prepare for death, you need to fulfill your obligations and refrain from the forbidden. And
well, let's see what the next caller thinks about that. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling or where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum. It's Sania from Manchester.
Assalamu alaikum salam. Sania, how are you? You okay?
Yeah, fine.
What's the answer to this week? I know you're going to answer the question, so go on. Let's hear it. What's the answer?
Is it Surah Al-Alaq?
Shows us this, doesn't she? Is it?
She's always asking Sania. We cannot tell you the answer.
Right. We'll find out at the end of the program, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your call. Khud Hafiz. Yeah, brother, you mentioned a hadith by Imam Ali.
Yes, where he was saying such a simple way he was saying that, to prepare for death, you fulfill your obligation and refrain from the forbidden. I mean, now let's look deeper into this. Fulfilling your obligation, like you have first of all and foremost, you have your obligation towards God, because He's your creator, He's your maker.
Definitely.
You need to fulfill everything that God has asked you to do. Secondly, you have your obligation towards your family, towards your friends, towards your relatives, towards your neighbor, towards everybody. So if you fulfill all these obligations and stay away from something that God has forbidden for you, death should be an easy
I think if everyone wants to find out more about what Brother Hamza is saying there in more detail, it's very important that we read the basic books to find out what our Asul Deen are, what our Furu Deen are, because from there you can learn the different aspects of Islam, the basic, because if your foundation is strong, then the building that you build on top of that will also be strong.
Absolutely.
We have another caller, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Walaikum salam. Ya Ali Madad. My name is Waji and I'm calling from Luton.
UK. Luton.
And the answer to the question is Surah Al-Alaq.
Surah What was your name again?
Waji.
Waji.
Khudafis.
Thank you.
Brother Waji from Luton. Everyone's giving the same answer at the moment. Inshallah.
That's a good sign. At least everybody's saying the same thing.
We're not getting different answers, so I think I'm not going to say anything. Brother.
I don't think we should say anything.
Too kind. We
I don't want to say anything more because
Yeah, bro.
Right,
You're talking about the hadith.
So yeah, they simple things that fulfilling your obligation towards God, towards your family, towards your friends, and staying away from something that's forbidden. Yes, this world is very cruel to the believer, and that's why the hadith says that is something that a believer would welcome. It's something that believer would like, and if you do all the things that God has asked you to do in your Suluddin, Furuddin, as you mentioned, then it's an easy.
It's very basic, bro. I think people complicate religion a bit too much. It's very simple. The rules are very simple. Like your obligatory acts, what are they? There's not a lot.
No.
Som, Hajj, Zakat, Khums, Tabarra,
Yeah.
Nahiyan and Munkar, all that kind of. There's a few. I think there's 11 in total, or something like that, approximately. But yeah, they're very simple. You just got to follow that, and do you know what I mean? It's not. I mean, I think why do we complicate religion so much? Is the question.
I think that's one of the things that we tend to do a lot.
What is it? Is it because we're busy working? Do you know what the main reason is? Do you know what the reason that comes into my head? I did research and they said, you know what? What's the key to evil? The key to evil is love for this dunya. We do not think about the hereafter. But yes, inshallah, we all will be thinking about the hereafter after this program. But I think I've been told by the brothers in the back that we need to take a few phone calls. He's going mad at me now. Okay. Right, we need to take a few phone calls. We're going to take 3 or 4 phone calls in a row, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling away? Calling from?
Hello, assalamu alaikum. My name is Imad Ali.
Imad Ali from Ireland, yeah?
Ireland.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, how are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good. Are you going to answer this week's quiz question?
Yeah, the answer is Surah Iqra.
Surah Iqra.
Surah Iqra.
Okay, thank you for your call.
Thank you.
We have another caller. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from? Oh, call's been dropped.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Any more calls? Come on, bro. You've been having a go at me in my earpiece and now there's no callers. Here's a caller. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. What's your name, please?
My Zainab Rida Kazmi.
Zainab Rida
Wow,
Kazmi.
such a beautiful name.
And where are you calling from?
I'm calling from England.
From where?
Bradford.
Bradford. And how old are you?
Huh?
How old are you? What is your age?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Zainab, how old are you?
I'm 7 years old.
MashaAllah. And are you going to answer today's quiz question?
Yeah, I can't hear you again.
Oh, what is the answer to today's quiz question?
Surah Al-Alaq.
Thank you for your call, Sister Zainab. MashaAllah, what cute voice.
She seems so young and so cute. Wow,
MashaAllah, it's nice to see everyone's watching. Another caller. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from? Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
Hello, I come from Dublin.
Dublin. What is your name, please?
My name is Sajda.
Say again, Sajida.
Yes.
And what is the answer to today's quiz question?
The answer is Surah Al-Alaq.
Surah Al-Alaq. Thank you very much for your answer. Look at that.
All these young viewers are calling in and they sound so cute on the phone.
Well, it looks like to me that no one else wants headphones apart from the kids. There's no adults out there who need headphones.
I don't think they do.
I need headphones. I have to replace it every 2-3 minutes, every 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Imran Rizvi from London.
Imran Rizvi from London. How are you, brother, today? You okay?
I'm okay. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, we are fine. Are you enjoying the program?
Yes. The answer to the quiz question is Surah Al-Alaq.
Surah Al-Alaq. Brilliant. And
Thank
are you enjoying the program, brother?
Sorry?
Do you like the program?
I can't hear you.
I think what's going on with the quality today?
Not fair, man. No one can hear us.
That's not
I was
good.
giving the answer and going. Right. Coming back to the topic, brother.
Okay. Well, as you were saying, the different things that you can do, in order to prepare for this. I think I want to mention a verse from the Quran which talks about death, and there's lots of verses, but this particular one is very, very useful because death, it says, is a meeting towards your Lord or meeting with your Lord. And this is Surah Kahf, and it says in verse 110, so whomever desires to meet his Lord, he should do good deeds and not associate anyone in the worship of his Lord. So there you go. God Himself is talking about this, and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is saying in the Holy Quran that death is a meeting with your Creator, and you do everything in your life to go towards that day where you're going to see your Creator, where you're going to meet your Creator. So in order to do that, in order to prepare for this, is do good deeds, do well, do everything, do well in your life, in everything else, and do not associate with anyone when it comes to your Lord.
I mean, like to just add to that, look, at the end of the day, if you don't do these good deeds, what kind of punishment be? It can start even before you die, brother. The pain, the depth of pain can be so tormenting itself. I've got this bit of information that, look, it's like when one's body is cut into pieces by scissors or torn with a saw. It's as if someone's ripping your skin apart. That's the pain you feel just when the soul is departing from the body. So therefore, like you said, brother, you have to make sure that we are continuing to do the right deeds and not deeds that is forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think we have another caller, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Lala speaking from Ireland.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Layla speaking from Ireland.
Layla from Ireland. And what's the answer to this week's question, please?
It's Surah Al-Alaq.
Thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you very
Sister
much.
Layla, yeah?
Yeah, Sister Layla from Ireland.
There you go. We're getting a lot of calls today, brother.
All from Ireland today. I think we should move to Ireland.
We need to move to Ireland. We're coming there very soon, inshallah.
We'll do a show there.
We'll do a show there, inshallah. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from, please?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Saida and I'm calling from Luton, and the answer to the question is Surah Al-Alaq.
Thank you, Sister Saida from Luton. And everyone's saying the same answer apart from one.
Yes.
So look at that. So inshallah, we've got some consistency going on there. We're not hinting anything, are we, brother Hamza?
No, I'm not telling the answer and I don't want you to say anything.
There you go. Another caller. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
Walaikum assalam. It's Murtaza calling from Bradford.
Walaikum assalam,
Murtaza. How are you?
I'm fine.
Everything alright? How's Bradford today?
Yeah, it's good.
The weather's here has been very hot. What about over there?
Yeah, it's very sunny and nice.
It's nice, isn't it? Alhamdulillah, good. And what's the answer to this week's question?
Surah Al-Alaq.
Surah Al-Alaq. And what do you think of the video? It wasn't a bit too gruesome.
I think it was a good video actually.
You like the video, yeah?
Yeah, had a good message and stuff.
You don't need to get upset because I'm sat right here, okay?
Alright.
Alright, take care. Khudafis. Right. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling? Where are you calling from? Brother goes to me, I didn't tell you there was a call, so just wait.
Oh, okay. So
I thought I was another caller, but there wasn't.
That's fine. I mean, now we can talk a little bit more about the topic. And as I mentioned before, God Himself has mentioned, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has mentioned lots of verses in the Quran, and obviously the most important verse that He has mentioned is Surah Al-Baqarah, where He says, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un."
Fantastic.
Where that you are from your Lord, and you obviously are returning to your Lord, and that means that God has made you for a purpose. You have a purpose in life. You are here for a reason. You have to fulfill your reason, and then you have to return on to Him.
The Prophet himself said, "Look, I came to mankind to perfect human morals." Now, that's very important as well.
Very true.
Now we need to know how to treat each other, our neighbours, our friends, our family, and inshallah from that we can obviously, the time when we do actually die, it'll be much easier upon us. Don't you think?
I agree. I mean, it's simple things that makes a difference. And simple things in terms of your life, in terms of morals, being good to your family, being good to your friends, being good to your neighbor, being good, and obviously being obedient to your Lord.
I just like to remind everyone out there, you know, if some tragedy happens in the family, or something goes wrong, or someone dies, or we start doubting God, we start doubting our religion. Look at this beautiful ayah from the Holy Quran in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, God gives life and only God causes death also. So everything that happens is by the will of Allah. So even if you are going through some troubles in your life, you should thank Allah. This is a very important point, bro, don't you think?
I agree.
We become now shukr at times in our life. We still thank Allah, even if we are going through some troubles, some family illness, or someone's passing away. You should always remember that. Look, at the end of the day, like you said as well, that beautiful ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah, that look, to God created and to Him we shall return.
That's true. I mean, that's what it's all about. This world is tormenting, and this world has lots of tests. This world has lots of, hardships for a believer, and that's why when death comes, it's a gift, because then you're leaving all these things behind, and you're moving on to a world which does not have any worries, any difficulties, any tortures, any tormentations, or anything like that. So death, going back to the hadith, death is a gift to a believer.
There you go. Right. Let's see if we can give a gift away to our next believer. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling away? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bradford and my name is Hiba.
Hello, Hiba. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
How do you find the program? You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's very good.
Very good. Yeah. What's the answer to this week's question?
Surah Al-Alaq.
Where did you get the answer from?
I did some research.
Fantastic. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Hiba, for your call.
Keep watching to the end of the program, inshallah. We'll give you the answer at the end of the program. Bro, I think I'd like to mention one point here, that the angel of death, when they come to take the soul of any person, they assume a face according to the deeds of that dying person. So obviously, if you have someone who is an unbeliever, what kind of face will they have? Now, this question was asked by Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, and the answer was, you will not be able to look at that frightening face. But then Ibrahim was, look, I want to see that face. So guess what he saw? He says, the angel was in the form of a black man. His hair was standing on its end all over his body. A foul stench emanated from the frightened figure. His clothes were dark. Flames and smoke leapt out from his mouth and his nose. Now look at that. Even if, and Ibrahim says here, that even if the unbeliever is not given any other punishment, seeing you in this form is torture enough for him.
Wow.
So why do you want to do deeds in your life that will result in you starting the punishment just by looking at the angel of death?
That shows, that's very serious, and I guess that shows that the point that we're putting across, that if you do good deeds and if you are good in this world, then surely you will be rewarded. And God is just, and like rulers of this world are not just, but God is just, and He will reward you accordingly.
There you go. So there's a lot of aspects we need to cover in today's program relating to death. Another one is that, look, we need to contemplate very strongly that our existence here, like brother said, that death is just the beginning of a new life. Now we need to determine whether we want to go to hell or we want to go to heaven. Now the main thing I mentioned, I highlighted that before I started going into a bit more detail about this, is that, look brother, we need to make sure, Imam Ali himself said, look, I divorce this dunya 3 times.
3 times
he said it,
yes.
I divorce this dunya, I divorce this dunya, I divorce this dunya. Because this love for this world is the cause for a lot of people going to hell. I mean, this is a beautiful ayah in the Quran as well, I have to share with the viewers. Are you content with this world's life instead of the hereafter? But the provision of this world's life compared with the hereafter is but little. So what you find, the pleasures that you seek in this world, the materialistic things that you desire in this world, and you get happy about, I want a car, I want a house, I want money, I want this and I want that. They are absolutely nothing compared to what you can get in heaven.
Exactly. All these palaces that you have in this world, all these big mansions, big cars, big everything, they compare to nothing, absolutely nothing. And you know what, as you mentioned, the hadith of Imam Hussain came to my mind, and I did write this down, where he's talking to his companions on day of Ashura, and he's saying to them, you guys are coming from nothing. You guys have given everything towards your religion and religion of Islam. You guys will be rewarded with biggest of castles, biggest of everything. You will long for nothing in the hereafter. But these people who are fighting me, they are coming with big castles, big everything. They'll have nothing but hell for them.
It's very important because, look, Imam Hussain on that night gave the option to his companions to leave. I said, I've got no grudge against you, I've got nothing against you, leave if you wish. But no, look at their love for Imam Hussain, Abu Abdullah. Look at their commitment, their desire, because they knew that this caravan is going to take them straight to Jannah.
Absolutely.
Now look, they were guaranteed Jannah. Now how can we guarantee ourselves the same pleasure, brother?
I think we need to obviously understand what death is. As you mentioned before, it's a bridge. Death doesn't mean that everything stops. It means you're continuing your journey on towards the next world, and you're going to be meeting your Creator, your somebody, God, who you've done all the. It's a test. This world is a test, and for one reason only, to see your God and to see how well you have done in this world.
I'd like to mention again the hadith this week by the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he mentions a gift. The gift to a believer is death. Now, I mentioned before that the gift is, for one example of a gift can be seen in the faces of the Aima alayhi salam. Now, I'd like to mention here a quick story of one of the companions of Imam Rida alayhi salam, who went to when he was on his deathbed. The Imam came to him. The man closed his eyes at that last moment. He said, at present, the Holy Prophet, Imam Ali, Bibi Fatima, salamullah alayha, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, Imam Hussein, so all the Imams right up to Imam al-Qazim, he could see them all stood at his head on his deathbed, and he could see the beautiful eminence glowing out of their face. So look at that, man. Imagine getting to that point on your deathbed.
We're at a point of death that all these holy personalities are coming towards you. I wish this ever happens.
There you go. So inshallah, look, and Imam Ali also says that everyone sees me on his or her deathbed and will do so in the future also, but be he a believer or an unbeliever. Basically, Imam Ali is saying, no, it doesn't matter if you believe or not, I'm going to be at your deathbed. Now the question is, what face do you want Imam Ali to come with? Do you want him to come with a smiling face of acceptance that, brother, you are one of my Shia, I love your actions, your deeds, you're amazing, you make me proud? Or do you want him to come with a frown face that, look at the sins that you committed, look at the life that you chose, look at the dunya that you...
Like the love of this world that he chose over the love of the next world.
Exactly, that anger will be representing the anger of God. So how do you want the Imams to meet us, is the question.
Exactly. And I think, staying on the topic, Imam Ali had said, even in his last will, he mentioned that my advice he's talking to everybody, to the Ummah when he's giving his last will, and this is just a small point that I've taken, that my advice to you is be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and steadfast in your religion. Do not yearn for this world and do not be seduced by it. Do not resent anything that you have missed in it. Proclaim the truth and work for the next world. That's the will, that's the point that Imam Ali had mentioned in his last will.
So Imam Ali is still in this world and he is telling us to work for the next world, telling us to focus on the next world, because the next world is the real world. Now obviously a lot of people need to think out there that we all need to sit there and think, we need to balance. I think the very good way of doing this, Brother Hamza, is before you go to sleep, write down or think at least, is there anything good that I've done today? What are the good deeds? Is there anything that Allah would be proud of with my actions today? Is there anything that I've done that may make Allah angry on me? The Imams may be upset by my actions. Make a list of these things and start eliminating them. Like for example, today I shouted at my friend. Right, next day, right, I'm not going to do that. So slowly, if you bring this habit into your lifestyle, inshallah, you start doing the elimination process, and one day will come where majority of your sins, you'll stop doing them.
I think that's such a very good technique that you mentioned. If you write everything down at the end of the day,
contemplate
or just reflect. Exactly. You don't need to, even if you don't need to write it down, just reflect on all the things that you've done during the day. Or put all the good things to one side, put all the bad ones to another side, and you will know yourself that your bad ones are overshadowing the good ones. And that goes for all the humans, because that's what we do. We are sinners, but in order to improve ourselves, I think the next day, then you will see that you won't do half the things that you did yesterday. And if you keep on doing that over a week, over a month, and you will realize that you're changing yourself, you're doing something good, and you're working towards the next world.
Well, this is the whole aim of this program, that we want to help everyone out there and ourselves improve our character, improve our knowledge, and inshallah improve the way we conduct ourselves in the daily world and with other people out there. Obviously, a very important aspect is also when we die, we get questioned in the grave by the angels Munkar and Nakir. Now, what are these questions and what are the answers that we are going to give? The questions are, who is your God? You're going to be asked about your beliefs. Who's your God? Who is your prophet? Which religion are you following? Which book do you believe in? Now, to be honest, look, if you're someone, I'm not saying watching football is wrong. I'm just giving that example because it's a popular sport. Even I like football. But I'm saying, look, if you're someone who worships Messi, worships these football players, worship these football teams, follow them everywhere they go, just work continuously just to watch these matches. On that day when you get asked who's your God, you're going to name a football player. Exactly. Is that what you want? Now this is what we've got to realise, that look, the truth's going to come out there. regardless of, you might still believe it, I believe it, but if you actually don't show that through your actions, then it doesn't count. So it's very important that we all sit there and think we need to focus on our religion a bit more, in the sense that we need to read, we need to educate ourselves, the way we bring our children up. Are we sending them to the mosque? Are we having that environment at home? Forget the mosque for 1 second. Have we actually got a religious atmosphere within our own house? Is there respect between brothers and sisters? How we sit in front of them? How we dress in front of them? Are there any etiquettes that are being taught in the family? When we eat, do we all recite Darood before we eat? Anything like that?
Small things, I mean, small things make a huge difference. And as you said, that especially within the family, if you have an atmosphere where everybody respects each other, they have good morals, and every day, I think, I think on every Thursday we recite Dua Kumail or reciting Quran, Hadith Qissa, all these things are beneficial for you for your hereafter, because everything is going to help you on the day of judgment and obviously at the time of your death, because all your good deeds will be counted and all your bad deeds will be looked at as well.
There you go. So Brother Hamza, I would like to remind everyone of all the viewers of the hadith of this week. Make sure you write this down, because it's very important. This is the whole concept of this program. We show a hadith, you write it down, you implement it into your life. The gift to a believer is death, by the Prophet ﷺ. The gift to a believer is death. So we want to make sure we accept this gift with open arms, that we are ready for that day when our soul's being taken away from our body. At the end of the day, brother, there's so many things that we need to be aware of. I think it's very important that we all get our books on a sort of, what was the book's called? The Rules by the Mujtahid. Can you help me?
Which one? Are there laws now all of a sudden?
Basically talking about the laws of Islam, Usul al-Fiqh, different types of Islamic law as well, by the different. You need to know these, because you need to know the consequences of, for example, listening to music, what that can do, different acts that can lead to different punishments. There's so much punishments in the grave, brother, I'm telling you. It's scary. I mean, it doesn't just affect your soul, it can affect your actual body in the grave. I mean, I don't know, brothers out there, you might have seen clips on the internet, pictures on the internet of bodies that have been exhumed after being buried, and they look like a tractor has been driven all over it. Eyes are popped out, the body's gone green, and you just tell that he's been crushed in a grave. So it's very important that the actions that we do are according to Ahlul Bayt and the teachings of the Prophet, and they coincide with the Holy Quran.
That's great.
What do you think?
I agree with you. I mean, everything we should do, and this is like a conclusion or a summary of everything that we've talked about, that everything you should do on a daily basis, with your family, friends, should be towards God, and should bring you closer towards your goal, which is, seeing your Creator, your Maker on the Day of Judgment. And the only way that you will ever see your Creator, is through death, which is, again, as we mentioned before, it's a bridge from this world on to the next. Just
like to quickly share a quick story of all the viewers out there about the day of questioning about your deeds when you die. Is that there's a story that in which a man was asked, do you remember on such a day when you seen that person being oppressed but you did not help him? You were in a position to help, yet you did not help him. Now look, even this results in punishment. What was his punishment? It was 100 lashes. What was the first lash? The first lash filled his grave with fire. That was the first of 100. So that's just for not helping someone who was oppressed. So imagine how many people we're oppressing or we are not helping, when you can blatantly see someone struggling to cross the road, whether it be a young child or an old person on a wheelchair with a stick, or a blind person. You look at them and you just ignore them. It's awakening this love for humanity in your heart, which is important, and which will help us on the day that Allah decides to take our soul.
Exactly. All this means preparation. All this means, doing good morals, good beliefs, all the right beliefs, and preparing yourself. Anything you can do would help you on the Day of Judgment.
Right, that was a quick summary of this week's topic on death. We're going to relate this slightly to this week's holy personality, so keep watching the screens. And this week's holy personality that we chose is someone who's very holy. He's buried in a very far place. I don't think, a lot of people get the chance to even go there. Luckily, my brother's been there, and when he went to the grave, he said it was absolutely empty.
I really wish I went there. I really wish I want to go there before we realize. That's something a wish, and I really hope that one day I get to go
Inshallah. Inshallah we'll all go there one day. And this week's holy personality is Jafar al-Tiyal. We'll have his short biography on the screen right now for you all, so you can learn a few facts about this holy personality. His name is Jafar al-Tayyar. His birth is approximately 595 AD. He was about 10 years older than Imam Ali alayhi salam. His father was Abu Talib alayhi salam. Mother's name is Fatima bint Asad. Cause of death was in a battle of Mota. Death place is also in the same place. That's where he died. Both of his arms were cut off. And his holy shrine is in a place called Al-Mazar near Iraq in Jordan. Now this holy personality is a brother of Imam Ali alayhi salam. I mean, his status is amazing, brother. I mean, I don't know if you've read much about it. I never knew as much as I do now. I've done a lot of research on this holy personality, and it really does make you think, you know what, there's so many pious people out there who have done so much for their religion and fought about their death, and we are sat here having milkshakes and going out. You know? All
the stuff that we do on, it compares nothing to all these people. We try to emulate them, we try to follow them in their footsteps, but we that's all we can do. We can try our best. Jafar Tayyar is known as one of the bravest men in Arabia, and I'm sure, if you look in history, the battles that he fought, all of them very bravely and and very courageously. There's again a short summary of Jafar al-Tayyar on the screen for you.
There you go. I'd like to share at the time when the Prophet was in Mecca and the Islam was being propagated, the Quraysh tribe at that time, the tyrants, wanted to destroy Islam from the roots. Now this was causing a threat to the people who started to believe in Islam. Now the Prophet at this time, this is the trust the Prophet had on Jafar Tayyar. He sent him to a country called Habash with 80 Muslims to protect them from...
Is it modern day Africa?
Yeah, so basically they took him to Habash to protect them from the people who were trying to kill them. Now look at the akhlaq of Jafar Tayyar. When they were on their way, they boarded a ship. He would go to the children asking them if they're okay, the immigrants. Whereas his wife Asma would ask the women how they are. They went to Habash and they got there and met the king. I can't remember his name actually. Let me find his name. It's called Al-Najashi. And they went to him, and he was a pious and just king, and he accepted them to stay there as free people, and they were allowed to practice their religion freely. Now this obviously lit a fire in the tyrants in Mecca, and they wanted revenge. They wanted them people to come back so they could bring them back and destroy them. What did they plan? They sent massive loads of gifts to the king, and on this the king accepted the gifts, and he goes, what's the reason of you giving me these gifts? They said, look, these people who have run away, they have spread ill thoughts, and they don't believe in the same Jesus that you believe in. So he requested the tribe to come, and Jafar was obviously the leader of that tribe. And at that point when he came, everyone bowed to the king apart from this particular group of Muslims. Now the king at that point said, why do you not bow to me? What is the answer of Jafar? He goes, we don't bow to anyone but Allah. Look at Jafar's knowledge. Look at Jafar's knowledge. He's telling us we don't bow to no one. The messenger has ordered us not to bow to anyone but Allah. He has also ordered us to pray and to pay our zakat. Now hearing this, now obviously the king respects this. He wants to know more. Now what does Jafar say now? Now he goes, who is your messenger? Can you tell me something that he said? At this point, Jafar recites the chapter of Maryam, obviously because it's related to the king's beliefs about Jesus. On this, after hearing this, what does the king do? He starts weeping. The priests and the monks also start weeping. And obviously the guys who came to get these people back, the king said to him, no, you're lying, you're bribing me, you're trying to cause falsehood, can you please leave? So that individual who let that king at the time who let this group of Muslims stay in Habash was just himself, but what convinced him was a knowledge of Jafar at that time. So look at Jafar's knowledge. What do you think of his knowledge?
It's not just bravery and it's not just courageous acts. It's also knowledge which he gained. I mean, he's from the same tribe as Imam Ali, and he's his brother, and obviously being in the same family, he gained the knowledge, he gained the morals. I mean, as he was saying the story, when he went to the king, his morals were so good that he respected the law of the land, that he didn't just say, look, I'm Muslim and I'm going to do what I think is right. He respected what that land requires, and he carried on his duties, and because of this, the king looked at everything.
And the best thing was that when the Prophet eventually did write a letter to the king of Habash, the king respected that letter so much, he came off the throne, he kissed that letter and put it on his eye, he sat down on the floor. This is all due to the hard work that Jafar has put in at that time to convey the message, to make people believe in Habash. And look today, so many Muslims from Africa themselves.
Exactly. Nowadays you have Muslims all over the world, be it Africa, be it Russia, be it anywhere, and it's all due to good akhlaq of our Prophet and his all the people that he sent out on different journeys across the world to propagate the real message of Islam. And if you have good morals, then you should be a good person, a good Muslim.
Just to carry on a bit more about Ja'far, whilst he was in Habash, the Prophet fought battles of Badr, the battle of Uhud. He won the battle of Khaybar. Now this is an important part that highlights the beautiful importance of Ja'far al-Tayyar, that when the Prophet won the battle of Khaybar, at that time Ja'far came back from Habash with his group of Muslims with him. And when the Prophet saw this, you know what the Prophet said? He goes, I do not know which event is more cheerful, Ja'far's coming or the conquest of Khaybar.
Wow.
So Prophet received two beautiful
Look
news.
at the comparison the Prophet is doing. Khaybar was for over 40 days, and he didn't win until 40 days, and Ja'far has come back from such far away land, and he's comparing both such huge victories.
So there you go. It's amazing, because obviously people used to say that the Prophet's two wings, one was Imam Ali and the other was Ja'far.
Yeah.
Now I'd just like to highlight the last part of Ja'far's life in the Battle of Mota. This was against the Roman army. It was fought in a land called Al-Balqa. At this point the Prophet gave the flag in the hands of Zayd bin Harith and said, if he passes away, then the leader will be Ja'far al-Tayyar. Now obviously when Zayd passed away in that battle, Ja'far al-Tayyar picked up that flag before it actually fell. He got there so fast that before the flag fell from Zayd's hand, he gripped that, he picked that flag up to make sure it doesn't fall, to represent his religion. He fought in that battle. He was the first person in the history of Islam to come off his horse to show, look at my strength. He came off his horse and fought on foot just to show that, look whose son I am. And he fought so bravely until a lot of people surrounded him. His left arm was cut. He picked up the flag with his right arm, and then his right arm was cut, and he was martyred in the battlefield there. Now when the Prophet received this news, he went to the family of Ja'far in Medina. He took his children, put them in his laps, he wept with them. And then a beautiful, last thing I would like to mention about Ja'far, a beautiful saying from Jibreel came, that Jibreel said that Allah has granted Ja'far 2 wings to fly with in paradise. Now this is a message for us all. Now look, do we not all want to die in a state that Allah gives us blessings and is happy with our actions such that we are given wings to go to heaven?
That's it. That's what we strive for in this world. All our actions, all our deeds, good things that we can do, good actions that we can do, take away from today's topic would be just do everything good in your life. I know it's very hard, it's easier said than done, but if you take small steps, as we've been mentioning previously, every week we try to give advice. I think if you do small things on a daily basis, it can make a huge difference overall.
Right, I think we're going to move on to this week's answer. We need to reveal the answer this week to this week's quiz question. What was this week's quiz question for everyone out there?
Okay, so this week's quiz question was, which surah was revealed first in the Holy Quran?
So what the answer of this week's question is?
Wait, before we reveal the answer, here we go. Which surah was first to be revealed in the Holy Quran?
I think it was a very simple question. We got a lot of right answers.
No right answers.
I think there's only one that was wrong.
Okay.
So I can't remember your name, but make sure you check in the right websites.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week's
quiz
winner.
Okay. Drum rolls or no drum rolls?
No drum rolls today.
No way.
No drum rolls. Is this week's winner?
This week's winner is Muhammad from London.
Muhammad from London, you are this
Congratulations.
week's winner. Congratulations. Make sure you go on Facebook and give us a like, yeah? You like our program?
Yes, make sure you go on Facebook. You can like our page, and make sure you ring us here. Ring the studios back. Give us your address so the gift of headphones can be posted to you.
Inshallah. I'm going to recite a quick note on it's related to death. Whilst I'm reciting, Brother Muhammad, I'd just like to say, can you please ring during whilst I'm reciting so we can get your address? We like to make sure all our viewers are getting their prizes. I mean, I think we've done 5 programs, only 2 people have received their gifts. The other 2 people are still waiting. But Brother Anis, you as well, please pick up and ring us. So after a loud salawat, Allahumma
salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
दुनिया के ए मुसाफिर منزل تیری قبر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے، طے کر رہا ہے جو تو 2 دن کا یہ سفر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے، دنیا کے اے مسافر، جب سے بنی ہے دنیا لاکھوں کروڑوں آئے، لاکھوں کروڑوں آئے، باقی رہا نہ کوئی، مٹی میں سب سمائے، مٹی میں سب سمائے، اس بات کو نہ بھولو سب کا یہی حشر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے، دنیا کے اے مسافر، یہ عالی شان بنگلے کسی کام کے نہیں ہیں، کسی کام کے نہیں ہیں، محلوں میں سونے والے مٹی میں سو رہے ہیں، مٹی میں سو رہے ہیں، 2 گز زمین کا ٹکڑا چھوٹا سا تیرا گھر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے، دنیا کے اے مسافر، منزل تیری قبر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے، منزل تیری قبر ہے۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد وعلی محمد. Just like to end this week's program by thanking all the viewers for ringing, watching.
Thank you for everybody, all the viewers who rang in, those who were watching. I know a lot of my friends told me that they'll be watching but they won't ring in, but thank you so much for watching as well.
That's fine. Sister Maryam, just like to got a quick announcement. Sister Maryam, we've got your phone number now, so inshallah we'll contact you, get your address. Brother Muhammad, today's winner, can you please ring us from London and give us your address so we can send this week's prize out to you? Just like to end the program with Dua al-Faraj. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.